The Four Agreements, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom, by Don Miguel Ruiz, is a spiritual and philosophical book rooted in ancient Toltec wisdom. Ruiz's teachings focus on personal transformation by offering a simple, yet profound code of conduct that can help individuals achieve inner peace, happiness, and personal freedom. The book outlines four principles, or agreements, that guide individuals toward breaking free from self-limiting beliefs and suffering, allowing them to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. The Toltec tradition and the dream of the planet. Ruiz begins by explaining the concept of the dream of the planet, which he defines as the collective and individual agreements humans make that shape their perceptions of reality. These agreements are based on cultural norms, societal rules, and the conditioning we receive from family, education, and religion. As we grow up, we unconsciously accept these agreements as truths, even though they often lead to self-limiting beliefs, fear, and suffering. According to Toltec wisdom, the key to personal freedom is to break free from the domestication of the mind and the old agreements that keep us trapped in negativity and self-doubt. The four new agreements that Ruiz proposes serve as tools for undoing the harmful conditioning we have internalized, helping us to see the world clearly and live more fully in alignment with our true selves. The first agreement: be impeccable with your word. The first and most important agreement is to be impeccable with your word. Ruiz explains that words are powerful tools for creating both reality and relationships. They have the power to inspire love and connection, or to cause pain and destruction. Being impeccable with your word means speaking with integrity, honesty, and kindness. It involves saying what you mean, avoiding gossip, and refraining from using words to harm others or yourself. Ruiz emphasizes that the words we use not only affect those around us, but also shape our internal world. The way we speak to ourselves influences our self-esteem, self-perception, and emotional well-being. Negative self-talk, criticism, and harsh judgment can become self-fulfilling prophecies that limit our potential. In contrast, being impeccable with our word helps us build trust in our relationships, and create a more harmonious life. Being impeccable also means taking responsibility for your words and avoiding using them to manipulate, blame, or spread negativity. When we commit to this agreement, we use language as a tool for love and truth, rather than a weapon for harm. The second agreement: don't take anything personally. The second agreement is to don't take anything personally. Ruiz explains that nothing others do is because of you. It's a reflection of their own reality, beliefs, and perceptions. When we take things personally, we assume that the actions and opinions of others are directed at us, which often leads to unnecessary suffering. By learning not to take things personally, we become less vulnerable to the opinions and judgments of others. Ruiz teaches that when someone criticizes or offends us, it's a projection of their own emotional state, fears, and beliefs. Therefore, their words or actions should not define how we feel about ourselves. If we internalize every negative comment or criticism, we allow others to control our emotions and well-being. This agreement is about emotional detachment, not in the sense of indifference, but in maintaining a clear sense of self, regardless of external circumstances. Ruiz emphasizes that by not taking things personally, we free ourselves from the need for approval and can live more authentically. We become empowered, realizing that we are not responsible for other people's actions or reactions. The third agreement: don't make assumptions. The third agreement is to don't make assumptions. Ruiz explains that many misunderstandings, conflicts, and suffering arise from the assumptions we make about others and situations. Humans have a tendency to assume what others are thinking, feeling, or intending without direct communication. These assumptions often lead to false conclusions, which creates unnecessary drama and hurt feelings. Ruiz encourages clear and direct communication as the antidote to assumptions. Instead of assuming you know what someone else thinks or wants, you should ask questions and seek clarity. This not only reduces misunderstandings, but also fosters healthier, more transparent relationships. Whether in personal or professional settings, Making assumptions can lead to misunderstandings and unmet expectations, which often result in disappointment. Assumptions are also tied to the stories we create in our minds. When something happens that we don't fully understand, our minds tend to fill in the gaps with assumptions that often reflect our own insecurities or fears. Ruiz stresses the importance of questioning these mental narratives and seeking the truth through communication. By practicing this agreement, we free ourselves from unnecessary emotional suffering and improve our relationships by fostering openness and understanding. The fourth agreement: always do your best. The fourth and final agreement is to always do your best. Ruiz explains that doing your best means putting in effort with the understanding that your best will vary depending on your circumstances, energy levels, and emotional state. Some days your best will be high-level performance, and on other days, it might simply mean showing up and doing what you can. This agreement is not about perfectionism or overachievement. Instead, it's about giving your genuine effort without self-judgment or regret. By doing your best, you avoid feelings of guilt, shame, or self-blame because you know you have done all you could in any given situation. Ruiz emphasizes that when you consistently do your best, you develop self-discipline and perseverance, which lead to personal growth and fulfillment. The fourth agreement: always do your best. The fourth and final agreement is to always do your best. Ruiz explains that doing your best means putting in effort with the understanding that your best will vary depending on your circumstances, energy levels, and emotional state. Some days your best will be high-level performance, and on other days, it might simply mean showing up and doing what you can. This agreement is not about perfectionism or overachievement. Instead, it's about giving your genuine effort without self-judgment or regret. By doing your best, you avoid feelings of guilt, shame, or self-blame because you know you have done all you could in any given situation. Ruiz emphasizes that when you consistently do your best, you develop self-discipline and perseverance, which lead to personal growth and fulfillment. One key aspect of this agreement is the understanding that doing your best should be free from attachment to results. It's not about achieving a specific outcome, but about fully engaging in the process and learning from each experience. When we are focused on results, we may feel discouraged or frustrated if things don't turn out as expected. However, if we concentrate on doing our best, regardless of the outcome, we can find contentment in knowing we gave our full effort. This agreement also helps prevent burnout because it teaches us to respect our own limits and not push ourselves beyond what is reasonable. By honoring our physical, emotional, and mental capacities, we can sustain long-term progress and success. The power of the four agreements. Ruiz argues that by practicing these four agreements, being impeccable with your word, not taking things personally, not making assumptions, and always doing your best, we can break free from the domestication of society and our internalized, limiting beliefs. These agreements are tools for personal freedom, offering a way to liberate ourselves from self-judgment, suffering, and fear. The power of these agreements lies in their simplicity and universal applicability. They are not rules that require rigid adherence, but rather guiding principles that can help us live more authentically and with greater emotional freedom. Ruiz explains that the agreements are not about perfection, but about consistent practice and self-awareness. As we integrate these principles into our lives, we begin to see positive changes in our relationships, self-esteem, and overall well-being. Conclusion. The Four Agreements is a guide to personal freedom and spiritual growth, offering practical wisdom that can transform the way we think, communicate, and interact with others. By following the Four Agreements, individuals can release themselves from the constraints of fear, judgment, and false beliefs, leading to a life of greater peace, clarity, and happiness. Don Miguel Ruiz's teachings provide a framework for living with integrity, self-love, and mindfulness. These agreements, though simple in concept, require continuous practice and as we strive to be impeccable with our words, avoid taking things personally, stop making assumptions, and always do our best, we can move toward a life of authenticity, empowerment, and true inner freedom.